Hey, how's it going, everyone? So today I just want to do a quick off-the-cuff, non-scripted review of the Mega Everdrive Pro. I'm not one of the cool kids. I didn't get a review copy of this. I actually had to pay for it, and it's not cheap. It's over $200 with, shipping and tax and everything. And at the time that I ordered this, I couldn't find it in the United States anywhere. No Amazon, no Stone Age Gamer or anything like that. And so I had to order directly from the website. And they're actually out of the Ukraine. And I don't know if you've ever had anything shipped from the Ukraine before, but man, it takes forever. It took a month and a half to get this thing. Sucked waiting for it. I did not like waiting that long. I know good things come to those that wait, but man, when you're spending over $200 on something, it needs to get to you a little quicker. Like, week and a half would have been fine. I didn't expect, 2 days or one day or whatever, like Amazon, especially coming from the Ukraine. But man, that just took forever. It comes in this box that everybody likes to mention for some reason in their review. There's nothing special about it. The foam is nice. It keeps it in there well. But there's nothing special about the box. It's just cardboard. It just has the little flaps that tuck in. There's no magnetic strip in it. It's not made out of plastic or anything. It's just a box. Who cares? The manual is good. It gets to the point. I highly suggest that you read it before you go just, sticking some ROMs onto a micro SD card and shoving it in this thing and shoving it into your Genesis and hoping that it works, because it's not. You're going to want to update the firmware. You're going to want to get your ROMs in the right folders. You're going to want to make sure you have the proper ROMs that are actually going to work with the thing. You're going to want to have the BIOS files, and you're going to want to name those properly. Otherwise, this thing won't even detect them, and it's not going to work, and you're going to have a bad time. So as far as the build quality goes, it's really good actually. It feels really good. It feels like a legit Sega Genesis cartridge in my hand. I was kind of nervous at first because I saw this little notch on the side here. If you look at these like cheap ass Chinese crap cartridges that come from like AliExpress or whatever the hell it's called, Wish, crap like that, they have that notch on the back too. And so it was making me nervous that the build quality was going to be similar, but not even close, man. Like, these feel really cheap, really weak plastic, and those screws aren't even real screws or bolts or whatever. It's just a detail in the plastic. This thing actually just snaps together, and inside is a really cheese dick cheap ass board with like one single chip on it and a big glob of bullshit on top of it. This isn't like that. I've opened this up. It looks really good. It has real screws. I dig it. The build quality is good. So, with all that said, let's go ahead and put it into the Sega Genesis. So I'm going to be using my Sega Genesis Model 1, the HD graphics version, the one with the better sound and all that. And when you put this thing in, watch this. See that? I put the pressure in the middle of it. The left side sinks down, the right side stays up. That's the side with the notch, and so you kind of gotta give it a little bit more on the right side. Now, I don't know if that's really gonna fuck with your Sega or not, but it doesn't seem quite right. But just thought I'd mention it. So yeah, I have this Sega Genesis hooked up through SCART cable out to my transcoder, out to my JVCD series, and then the audio is coming from the headphone jack. So, and I got a couple controller extension cables that go kind of around it behind the entertainment center down into this compartment here. That's where my controllers are. Try to keep the area a little more tidy. I got this guy hooked up to it right now, so we'll go ahead and turn it on. And so here's the menu. I really wish it looked better than this. Like, I wish that I could put like an image in the background or something, because that's plain as shit. It's so boring, but it does the job, so whatever. The first folder is the 32X folder. And you know what kind of sucks about that is that you still need a 32X to play the 32X games. And so I have my 32X over here, and it works and everything, but the thing is that if you go to play a Sega CD game, you have to unhook the 32X. And so it's kind of annoying. So I have this like hooked up to two different SCART cables. Like the 32X has the, it uses the same cable that the Sega Genesis Model 2 uses. It's a SCART cable. And so that's hooked up on its own. And then I have a separate SCART cable for this. But the thing is there's a cable that goes from the 32X into the Sega Genesis that goes into the same fucking dead input as the SCART cable. And so every time I want to use this, I gotta unplug the SCART cable, and it's just, yeah, kind of annoying. I think that you'd probably be better off having a separate Sega for your 32X games, and then just switch the cartridge instead. But yeah, so that's kind of annoying, but yeah, it's there. And you know, when you do have the 32X hooked up, it plays all the games really well. I went through like a ton of them and didn't have any kind of problems with any of them. So the next folder is going to be these CD games, and we'll go into here, and it kind of puts like these audio files and shit like at the front for whatever reason, because you have to use the BenQ setup. You can't do like zipped files, and you can't do those other compressed files, whatever the fuck they were called, I forget. The ones that are better for emulators and stuff like that. I'm sure somebody knows out there. Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. Okay, but anyhow, I have quite a few Sega CD games on here. I have a 128 gigabyte micro SD in there, and you can see that it holds quite a bit. And so we'll just kind of load one up real quick so you can see it work. And you got the little menu there. You really want to use the very first version of all the BIOS, because I tried revisions, like later versions or whatever, and they didn't work. But yeah, check this out. The loading times are a little bit better than an actual Sega CD, but I wouldn't say by like a whole lot more. Anyhow, so there's that. Now, here's the next thing that I kind of have to bitch about a little bit. So you can configure the pop-up menus, and mine is configured to down and start, but there is no menu, unfortunately, in the Sega CD games or the 32X games and the Sega Master System games. And so that's kind of a bummer. So, you know, reset. And then so you can exit out. Once you get back to the menu, you can exit out with the controller. Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about are the Sega Genesis games. I put a complete good ROM set up on this bitch, and what happened is I was going through it, and I was talking to my friend on the phone, and he was like, hey, do you have this game, and what about this game? And all those games were you know, later on in the alphabet, and they weren't coming up. Like they weren't coming up at all, and I'm just like, well, I could have swore that, you know, I put the entire ROM set on there. And so what I did is I took the micro SD out and I checked it on my computer, and sure as shit, it was all there. But I don't think the folders recognize so many files. Like once you get so many files on there, it just won't recognize all of them. Or maybe it has a page limit. I don't know what the deal is. But either way, you just make a separate another folder, and then you can get to the rest of your games. And they all work great. I haven't had any complaints about how it plays the games. And what's really cool about all this, once you're in the game, you can use your menu. And so mine is down and start. And I did that wrong. Or no, it's up and start. My apologies. It will extend the audio out like that. Can you hear it still? And so that's something to think about. But at least from here, you can do save states and cheats, and you can actually exit the game without having to get up and reset the console. And so that's really cool, and I hope that gets implemented to the other systems as well. And then I also have a homebrew folder, and that's pretty self-explanatory what's in there. Lots of games in there. And this thing also plays Master System games, which is really cool. And you will have to have the BIOS for this to work. But you can see it loads them right up, and it looks really good. Again, I haven't had any issues playing any of these games. It plays everything that I throw at it. But, yeah, can't get out. No menu. So, reset time. And another thing that it does is it plays NES games, but only so many mappers are supported. And the ones, like, there are a lot of games aren't going to load for you. Like, I tried Super Mario Brothers. Nah, no go. And some games will load, but the audio will be messed up. A good example of that is going to be Batman. Check this out. Bep, bep. Ugh. Painful sounding. Sounds like it hurts. And that's missing some sounds. But once you get past this, then it's not too bad. I see some, I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to be. Oh, there's a nasty sound again. Eesh. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Let's reset out of this shit. But there it is. Those are the features. Yeah, like, I mean, as long as you don't want to play Sega CD games with the Sega CD actually attached, you'll be good. Or if you want to play Sega CD games without the 32X attached, you're good there too. It has its flaws, it really does. However, I still think it's worth the money. Again, I say this as a person that actually paid for it and waited forever and a year to get it in the mail and played it for a good month, going through all the different games that he could before actually talking about the thing. I'm not one of the cool kids that got one of the review copies and gets paid for my video and all that, like so. But there you go. If you've been thinking about it for a while, if you think it's a lot of money to spend and all that, and you want to see something that's going to prove to you that it's worth the money, I hope that this video does it for you. It's very cool. I really enjoy it. And honestly, man, like, if you think about it, if you have a bunch of games that are worth something, you could probably just sell a couple of them to pay for the cost of it. I mean, I could probably sell Splatterhouse 2 here. I don't know. I mean, these are just my loose cards. I got a bunch of boxed ones too. But you get what I'm trying to say. Just, go through there, pick out a couple games, or like 4 games that are worth like 50 a piece or something, and sell them on eBay or, on the marketplace or whatever. And there you go. You just paid for your new Everdrive Pro. But yeah, try not to order it from the actual website though, man, because that's a long time to wait for for anything, in my opinion. But all right, guys, until next time, stay sinister. Later.